Hi everybody, my name is Butternuts and welcome back to Everlasting Summer. As you saw last time, we talked to a mysterious pioneer, which pretty sure it's SEMYON, but only because, I've already played through one of the endings. So, let's just try to go through like two endings. I'm going to take you guys through the ones I already seen, the one I already saw, and then just go ahead to the next one. Let's get started. The bright sunlight was striking my eyes even through my eyelids. I stretched out lazily and quickly got myself out of the bed. It was 2 p.m. Looks like yesterday really finished me off and my body required much more time to recover than usual. I had a stroll around the room thinking of what I should do today. Obviously my life in the camp would never be the same again after everything that I've heard from that strange pioneer. And if everything's just as said, I had plenty of time ahead. I grabbed my hygiene kit and went outside. I managed to take only a couple steps as somebody ran into my back. I turned around and saw Lisa. "Hey, be careful," she said indifferently and ran on her way. She held some kind of bag in her hands. Whatever. Yet another ordinary day in this crazy place. I finished brushing my teeth and then spent an eternity washing my face with ice-cold water to bring myself to my senses and refresh my head at least a bit. I felt a bit better after that. "Good morning." I heard a faint voice coming from the woods. Someone stood behind a tree. "Morning. Are you ready?" "Ready for what?" I looked again and it seemed like it was the pioneer from the bus stop yesterday. I indeed was prepared for such weirdness today, so I wasn't really surprised and I started the conversation quite clear-headed. "You didn't believe him, did you?" "What are you talking about?" "Everything that he said." "Alright, but what is your opinion on what is happening?" I'd already distanced myself from the outside world and decided to treat everything happening to me just like a fictional film, not reality. Hopefully, it would give me more room to move around in terms of situational logic analysis. "There is an exit, there has to be," he said excitedly. "I don't know, but I'd like to believe that too. If you just... SEMYON!" I turned around. Slavia is standing right next to me. "Who are you talking to?" No one. Just talking to myself." I hardly think it's worth telling her about aliens from parallel worlds. She probably can't even see them anyways. "Have you prepared them already?" "Prepared? For another hike?" "No. Today's the last day of the session." "What?" A stupid smile settled on my face. "There will be a bus this evening. We're leaving." Holy cow. I was ready for even the most incredible of twists, but was this what that mysterious pioneer was talking about? Probably it was. Well, apparently I'll have to go for a second lap and live yet another week in this camp. But this time I know everything. I haven't packed yet. It's not like I have much to pack anyways. "Okay." Slavia shifted her gaze. Seemed like she wanted to say something but hesitated. "Well, see you then." "Yeah." Someone called for me just as I approached the door. Shuriken Electronics swiftly approached the cabin. "Are you already packed up?" "Already packed up," I answered, imitating him. "You haven't quite been yourself these last few days." "What makes you say that?" "How should I know? You'd know better. I mean, why are you so concerned?" "No reason." A real pioneer always treats a comrade's problems as his own. He cast a skeptical look at him. "Thanks for your concern. I'm fine." There actually was half a loaf of stale bread and a piece of smoked sausage in the drawer. I ate everything with a deliberate pleasure, washing it down with smelly water that Olga probably used to water the plants. Just as I finished, someone started knocking on the door. "Come in." Olyana rushed into the room. "Oh, it's just you," she said disappointingly. "And who did you expect to see? A circus complete with bears?" Olyana giggled. "Where's Olga?" "Don't know," I shrugged. "Why not?" "I don't know because I don't know. What do you want from her anyways?" "Got to ask something before the departure." "Okay, I'll tell her that you were searching for her if I see her." By the way, why aren't you packing up? Like I have much to pack. Well, see ya. She cracked a sly smile and bounded out of the cabin, slamming the door behind her. And still, it's really strange that nobody seems to be puzzled by the sudden departure. Why am I the only one who is not expecting it? Like, everyone really cares if I pack my things up. As well as that, does anyone care that this is the last time we're seeing each other? The words of that guy in the forest yesterday all about the camp's tenants being unreal suddenly sparring into my mind. Well, right now I'm more ready to believe it than ever. The dresser drawer where I found my breakfast contained lots of odds and ends. I grabbed a pencil and a piece of paper, examined them for some time, and then slipped them into my pocket. Just in case. I had no intention of watching over all the pioneers running around and packing. It was somebody's voice that woke me up. A familiar pioneer was sitting directly opposite with his back to me. I've gotten used to him a bit since yesterday, and even seemed that I stopped fearing him. Hey, why do you always hide your face? Because you shouldn't see it, if you say so. I wasn't in a position to argue. So, what are you going to reveal this time? You already know. It is the last day of the session, don't you? Yep. And you've already spoken with that one. Yep. So what did he tell you? Nothing special. He said that there's an exit out of here. The pioneer burst into laughter. Yeah, I believed that too ages ago. And now? What is now? I have my past, my life back then. He stopped talking for some time. Anyway, it was all a long while ago, so I don't really remember. The future is all the same. Loops, 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 repetitions of the same story. Where is this now? Well, I hate to say it, but I'm not yet at a loss in time as you are. Oh, that's nothing. That'll come with time. He broke into diabolic laughter. There's just one thing I don't understand. What's your reason for coming to me? What do you expect to achieve? Me? Nothing really. So why did you come then? It's just because you, him, and others like us are the only real people around here. Given everything he had said to me already, I wasn't ready to believe that all the local tenants are just puppets. Are you sure that you're right? Right about what? Well, that you're right about everything. I can't be right or wrong. I didn't choose this world. I didn't throw myself into it. I'm just here, and you're just here. Listen, I've already got a headache from your philosophy. I was kind of puzzled myself as to why I was so calm talking to this mysterious pioneer. Well, here it is, right in front of me. All the fantasy and devilry that happened in this camp. Here it is, an explanation, at least a partial one, for how I got here. Here they are, the answers I've searched for such a long time. On the other hand, my behavior was quite logical. I couldn't quite explain what was happening. This cuckoo guy just talked and talked. But it's not like his words changed anything. Then what's the point of listening to him? Oh no, you will soon understand everything yourself. Somebody knocked at the door. I got to open it. It was Slavia at the doorstep. You came to see Olga? No. Come in then. I was 100% sure that the pioneer had already disappeared. Turns out I was right. Slavia took a seat on the bed and I snuggled against the wardrobe in the far corner of the room. She was distinctively nervous. Did something happen? Not really, it's just today's the last day. Well, I'm already aware, better late than never. Well, we probably won't see each other ever again. It's a small world, as they say. But maybe you would give me your address to write letters? I would have if only I knew it myself. You know, let's do it the other way around. You give me your address and I'll definitely write to you upon arrival. But why don't you want to give out yours? Well, we were just about to move, so you never know. It's better if I write to you. I tried to put on the cutest smile to make the story look more credible. Okay, it's fine then. Slavia got up and seemed to be leaving. Hey, wait, what about the address? Let's do it later. An expression of sorrow and disappointment crossed her face. I just shut the door and right then heard the spiritual voice of the pioneer from behind. Well, happy now? You've heard a girl. Well, What have I hurt her with? What should I have said to her? My dear, write to my dear granny in the village? Or should I have left her the address of a house that's probably not even built yet? So what? I'm not my brother's keeper. It's your world, not mine. I'll manage somehow on my own. That last phrase really made me squirm. You know what? I didn't manage to finish the phrase. Someone was knocking at the door again. Come in. Olyana flew into the cabin. Why the rush, milady? I made an excessively showy bow. Me? I'm just... Her eyes darted about cautiously and her cheeks were blushed. Just wanted to say goodbye. There would be time for that anyways. After all, we'll all be going on the same bus. Yeah, you're right, but it's kind of embarrassing in front of everybody. Oh, so there's something that you can be embarrassed by? I laughed. She pouted. I just wanted to tell you that you aren't a douche, really. In fact, you're almost a cool guy. Her words astonished me. Well, thanks. You're good to hang out with, too. Well, that's that. She rushed outside, slamming the door loudly. Hey, didn't expect that from her. Did you? I got nothing to do with that, I told you. It really looks like you knew what she will say. Maybe I did, maybe not. You just came here to mock me. I started to lose my temper. The idea had almost crossed my mind. Then why the hell are you hanging around here? If I ever need a man to comment on all my actions, I'll hire a professional psychologist. You think that after all this time I don't qualify as one? My estimation is that after all the time you've definitely gone bananas. All psychologists are freaks. Yes, but not all freaks are psychologists. He laughed out loud. A sense of humor? How encouraging. Frankly, your jokes are fairly lame. Who are you laughing at? At yourself? Listen, if you got nothing to do in your own world, go and bug that second one. And have you got anything to do in your world? The pioneer sharply countered. You know, I'll find out what to do. I'll pack up my things, leave this camp, and then what? Then what? Like I know. I've never been in such a situation before, believe it or not. It's just that you've forgotten that you won't be able to leave the camp. Yeah, he was right on this matter, probably. Just because you failed to do so, that doesn't mean that I will fail too. You're the boss. Another knock. So quiet I could barely hear it. I think this was Lena. Hissed under my breath and shouted, "Come in!" But the door didn't open, so I pulled the handle myself. Oh, it's Lena. Lena was on the doorstep. It looks like I really scared her. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. You came to see Olga? No, she said, staring at the ground. So what is it then? What did Lena want from me? Come in. She came in and hesitated in the middle of the room. Want to take a seat? I pointed at one of the beds. Lena hesitated a bit more, but nevertheless took a seat. Did something happen? Not at all, it's just... She threw a quick glance at me, but blushed at once. Here. Lena took something out of her pocket and handed it to me. I was stunned. It was my phone. But where did you get it from? I found it in the forest. Okay, but why did you think it's mine? Some boy told me so. Have you ever seen him before? I don't know. Couldn't see his face, but he was dressed in pioneer uniform. Everything was clear at once. And don't you wonder what it is? I looked at the screen. There was still some battery left. Therefore, the cell phone shouldn't just look like a piece of plastic to Lena. I don't know, some kind of game? Yeah, you're right. I quickly opened Snake in the menu and handed the phone to her. Here you go, a keepsake. Oh, what are you doing? I can't. Lena waved her hands at me. Take it. I have loads of these at home. She resisted a bit more, but finally took the device. And what do I do with it? Press the keys to move left and right. You've got to eat these pellets and keep from hitting your own tail. Wow, it's so interesting. She smiled. Thank you. And yet I have nothing for you. It's so embarrassing. I don't need anything, thanks. No, that's not good, she said with a voice that sounded more confident than usual. It's the last day today after all. Yeah. I hope we'll meet again. I think we will. Then I have a present for you. And what is it? Close your eyes. I did so, and promise that you won't open them until I tell you. Okay. Now you have to promise. All right, I promise. In a moment, I felt a light kiss on my cheek. I was really eager to open my eyes, but I promised. Open. The room was empty. What a girl. The only thing I managed to say. So, how does it feel, stud? I heard malicious laughter from the place where Lena had just been sitting. So that's what your new way of pranking me, eh? Using the others? Me pranking? God forbid. You got a kiss from a sweet girl thanks to me on the cheek. But anyway, I really wanted to beat him up at that moment, but I wasn't even sure that he's physically being there. I presume that this prank wasn't your last one, I said calmer. Who knows? Who knows? Isn't it fun? The pioneer laughed so hard. Perhaps Professor Morarity laughed like that, anticipating the success of his diabolical plan. You're certainly having fun, but I'm not. Relax, dude. There's almost nothing left, and here you go. Your second lap. After you do a dozen, then you'll earn a pit stop. Although you probably won't need me, and you'll figure it out everything yourself. Shit. It's not like I need you right now either. Just cut it out. If you ever... Just shut up already. No understanding. Shut your damn mouth! I screamed so loud that the walls trembled. The front door suddenly burst open and Elisa came in. Is it just me or has someone gone completely nutty nuts? She asked with fright. Well, you could say so. Why are you yelling? Because I want to. I've already realized that the accidental arrival of Elisa was either planned by this pioneer or would be commented on by him in a manner that I'd be sooner drive a pair of nails into my ears than have to hear. Have you gone psycho or something? Elisa reclined onto the bed in laid-back manner. To what do I owe the honor? I came just for the sake of it, and you're just here screaming. You aren't doing anything just for the sake of it. I've got nothing to do. I packed my stuff. It's boring. Well, well. If you think that I came to you because she threw an angry glance at me and turned away, I really shouldn't have come after that. After what? I haven't said a word. Of course, you thought it instead. Oh, so you can read minds now? There's no need to read your mind. It's written all over your face. It was hardly possible to read anything on my face besides fatigue and anger. And what have you read there? That's none of your business. Well, it's not like I'm holding you here. Forget it. I'll go wherever I please. Don't boss me around. Okay, stay here then, for God's sake. Anyway, I liked Elisa's company. It's much more than the pioneers. I lay back and closed my eyes. It took Elisa a few minutes to break the silence. You really don't want to tell me anything? For example? Today's the last day after all. So you're happy? Well, she babbled uncertainly. Everyone's leaving. Good riddance. And that's all? You need something else? Didn't you like it here? Her voice sounded unusual. I've seen better places. Damn, you're so dumb. Damn, you're so dumb that speaking to you is a complete waste of time. She got up and headed to the exit. Yep, good luck to you too. Elisa turned to me. Her face was writhing with anger. Couldn't you at least have said that you'll miss me? Sure I will. Wimp. She slammed the door loudly. Stupid. Elisa didn't hear my last line, of course. What a wayward chick, huh? As good as you are. And you, in that case, of course, keep comparing me to yourself. I remarked mischievously. But what's the difference? We're in the same situation. I've just been here a little longer. In fact, a lot longer. And you've gone completely nuts. No wonder. This horse laughter was really pissing me off. Listen, have I already told you that you should be an actor? You do a brilliant Hannibal Lecter, especially since you consider yourself a psychiatrist. I'll think about it. Well, now I must go. Maybe I'll see you again. Get lost. I turned to look at him, but the pioneer had already disappeared. Oh, finally. But nevertheless, where did he come? It might be the case that me, him, and the others like us are the only real people around here, but I desperately didn't want to believe that. All his speech seemed like some sort of complex game. Like he's trying to give me one hint after the other, trying to lead me to something, enabling me to discover some kind of devious plot. Too bad he's not really successful at that, because I'm out of ideas. Time dragged on deceitfully slowly, but it's 5 p.m. already. It's common during the summer. If one counts the seconds and minutes, it appears that every single hour would never end. But if one thinks of anything else, then the whole day flies by quickly. I decided to start packing. They could leave without me. I quickly took all the winter stuff and shoved it into my bag. I was almost about to jump onto the bed again, but the door opened and Olga came in. Oh, I see you're packed already. That's great, let's go. I got up reluctantly, grabbed my simple luggage and followed her. I really don't care what will happen next. I had long suspected that nothing was up to me in this world, and recent events had reinforced my complete confidence in this. I might wake up tomorrow in bus number 410, or I might not wake up at all. And that's all, folks. It's all that simple. There's no point in staying here, there's nowhere to run. Basically, my only exit is to leave on the bus with everyone else. Go into the unknown. That's all I've been doing for the last week, stumbling along a narrow path in pitch-black darkness, unsure of where is the beginning and where is the end. We're almost approaching the gates when I heard someone calling my name. Semyon! Semyon! Olga, excuse me just a minute. Okay, but make it fast or we'll leave without you. I headed for the bushes that the voice came from. Semyon! Semyon! I waded through the thick greenery and came out into the forest past. The voice seemed to be calling from nowhere. One moment it was heard behind a tree, now it seems to be behind my back. Probably it's one of those aliens from the parallel worlds, but I expected that I hadn't met this exact one before. We don't have much time. I'm listening. I know that you've already been contacted by him and him. Yeah, and I know what they've told you. Don't ask me how, okay? But you must know one thing. The thing I know, there's more than a dozen of us here. In fact, more than 1,000. But a lot of people got out. I've tried to digest what he said and phrase the right questions. And why are you here? I stayed. Why? To help others find an exit. Wow, how generous. And why should I trust you? You're the third one already. Or in fact, I'm not even sure you aren't just my hallucination. It's not about trust. Then what is it about? It's about the right choice. Consider this camp to be a giant maze. You should take a few right turns to find an exit. Okay, and how do I know which ones are right? You will know. Come with me. Where to? To the second lap. Hold on a sec. That pioneer said that the second lap will start tomorrow. He lied. The speaker raised his voice. He's completely crazy and he's trying to destroy all the others. So if I don't go with you and leave on the bus, then I'll be destroyed, right? I don't know. And why do you say so? Nobody ever returned after a conversation with him. Listen, why should I trust you? I was definitely on the edge. Well, that pioneer just mocked me. It didn't seem to be a real danger. This one clearly spoke about things worth being anxious about. I couldn't decide which one I should trust. This problem is like trying to get a blind man to say whether the light in the room is on or off. He can only guess, just like me. Hurry up, time is running out. Hey, wait a sec. Make a choice, are you coming or not? Now, the one I already saw was follow the voice, so let's do that. Okay, let's go. Anyway, he sounded more credible than the crazy pioneer. Of course, the solution could be fatal, but the alternative isn't any better. I just took a shot in the dark. Okay, so where are we going? We are already there. My eyesight started to fade. and I felt my consciousness leaving me. And we got the SEMYON bad end. And it just ends. Well, now that you've seen that ending, screw it, let's just make this a long video and go straight for the next one. And we're back, and we're at the same choice. This time we're not gonna follow the voice and just see how things go. No, you know what? I can't just believe you in only a couple of minutes. At least I've known that the other guy for a little longer, and his arguments seem to be more weighty. You'll be sorry. These words sounded like they were coming from another world. The voice seemed to disappear. Of course I couldn't be sure whether my choice is right or wrong. It was a blind guess forced by a time limit. Nevertheless, whether I'm right or not, we'll find out soon. In a couple of minutes, I was standing at the bus stop with all the other pioneers. Everybody's here. You're leaving the camp today, and I'd like to tell you something in parting. She was visibly nervous and desperate for lost words. I hope that you'll remember the time that you spent here for a lifetime, and you'll retain only pleasant memories about Sabinak. I also hope that you became at least a little bit better, managed to learn something, and found new friends. I also hope that you became at least a little. Just come back next year. The camp leader looked away. It's like she was trying to keep the tears inside. I didn't expect her to get so emotional. All their speech sounded like complete nonsense to me as usual. The pioneers started to crowd into the bus, babbling cheerfully. I decided to hold on a little and say a proper goodbye to this camp. All of a sudden I felt a deep urge to throw a coin. Of course there's no fountain here, and honestly I didn't feel like returning. But it's still just a superstition, and I don't believe in them. At least I never believed in them before. Digging through my pockets, I found only a couple of candy wrappers, a pencil, and a scrap paper. I held them for a moment, then I squatted, put the paper on the ground, and scribbled a few words. You are here for a reason. Grinning at my stupidity, I threw the scrap of paper under the wheels of the bus and got into the cabin. I found a place in the middle, but the strangest thing was everyone sat in pairs, and only I was alone. However, what's the difference now? I'll either disappear or we'll restart everything in a couple of hours. The bus was slowly moving towards the district center, occasionally bouncing over the bumps in the road. It was impossible to see anything beyond the old windows in the pitch black dark of the night. Anyway, I couldn't care less about the surrounding countryside. I just sat and waited for the inevitable. For the first time in a long time, my head was completely empty. The pioneers around me enjoyed the trip. Olyana and Elisa were playing cards, Lena was reading a book, and Slavia was sleeping. Miku was trying in vain to start a conversation with Xenia, and Xenia was trying really hard not to start killing people. Electronic and Sherrick were crafting something as always. I was the only one completely ignored by everyone. It might be a slightly far-fetched perception. I got used to the role of being the center of the universe in the camp. I thought that everything revolved around me. Well, that might be so up to a certain degree, but here and now, I'm only a foreign object and an out-of-place molecule in a harmonic pattern of a crystal grid. I'm not sure how long we spent on this road, but sleep had already started to overcome me. I was desperately fighting Morpheus, trying to stay awake as long as I could. After all, it's quite possible that today is the last day of my life. Then probably it's reasonable to cling as hard as I could to these few hours of meaningless, useless existence. However, physical fatigue and more importantly emotional fatigue took its toll, and I fell asleep. Did it end? Did we start a second lap? Oh my god, they're not leaves anymore. Look at that. Oh, dude. A sharp pain throbbed through my entire body. I felt it especially sharply in my temples. I felt like they're ready to shatter in 1,000 little pieces, giving the wind free access to my empty head. Probably I would not have been able to stand even 5 minutes of such torture if I hadn't opened my eyes in time. I was somewhere. It was impossible to tell precisely where. My mind was clouded in mist. My thoughts were confused. The moment between the unconscious and conscious states when you vividly remember your dreams. I was going somewhere by bus and was about to doze off when suddenly a girl came up and began to speak quickly. I couldn't understand a word, but the girl looked very upset. I failed to understand what she needed from me. Time passed and she kept talking on and on. It was getting really annoying. I wanted to ask her to cut it out and at least calm down a bit, but I failed, either because I didn't manage to say anything or because my words didn't reach her. I couldn't even see her face. I was simply listening and staring and listening. Perhaps it wasn't important to me then. Surely you would not try to remember what a mosquito disturbing your sleep looks like. Surely you wouldn't manage to recall the frequency of its flapping wings or inclination of its proboscis after that. And this girl is just one of a million voices that disturb you from concentrating, from thinking and sleeping. The louder her voice grew, the harder it got for me to catch her words. The bus cabin, the seats worn by time, the uneven floor, the rusty ceiling, the cracked glass on the windscreen, everything was floating away, along with her. And then I felt a unique sense of relief. It didn't matter how real the bus and the girl had been. It was nothing but a bug to me. And here I am, hanging in total emptiness and falling inside a dream. Wow, dreams can really be something. Not quite a nightmare yet, definitely not something pleasant. I got up, rubbed my face to get back to reality and gave a loud yawn and prepared to clean myself up. It was a really gray morning. Unable to find a hygiene kit on the nightstand, I concluded that I could manage without it. It was hard to get dressed. My hands were trembling like hell. I looked at my reflection in the mirror and checked out my 2-week stubble. Well, perhaps Olga has a razor. It was only when I went outside that I suddenly understood. I'm not in a pioneer camp. I'm back in my apartment. And I've just come out of my room in a passageway, not out of the cabin. I was overwhelmed with surprise, with dismay, with fear, even with terror. But how? I sat down on the bed and buried my face into my hands and tried to remember the chain of yesterday's events. Yeah, the bus, the last day of the term. Yeah, I fell asleep and woke up back home. Well, to some degree, it might even seem quite logical. It seemed that the initial astonishment has worn off during the first few seconds. After all, the fact that I came back like this after a week-long absence is no stronger than my sudden appearance in some pioneer camp of the 80s in the first place. The events of the last 2 days flashed before my eyes in an instant. That mysterious pioneer, his words. But how did I manage to get back to reality then? According to him, I was going to be stuck there forever and there's no exit. On the other hand, I wasn't alone. That pioneer at the bus stop and the mystery voice emphasized, on the contrary, that the exit exists. Does that mean I found it? I managed to get out of the endless loop? But how? Nevertheless, I wasn't sure whether I should rejoice or grieve. Over the last week, I'd gotten used to the everlasting inner monologue, the search for answers and the in-depth analysis of everything. So I simply couldn't accept this fact as it was, without figuring out what exactly happened to me. Sure, he told me that I'm the only one who has observed the existence of other guys like me during their very first loop. Does that mean anything? Anyway, all his theories and ideas instantly collapsed like a house of cards. Now I had decided how I should react. Of course, I should rejoice. After all, I'm back to the real world. Maybe the last 7 days were just a dream. Indeed, there's absolutely no evidence that I really was there. I don't see my pioneer uniform anywhere. I look my age, just like I did before. My phone is on the table, fully charged, but one can't deceive one's own memory. One can't live through such terrifically real experiences in a dream. I still remember the events of the whole week in great detail. Perhaps I was in a coma all this time. An ironic laugh escaped my lips. Nah, that's not an option either. Then all is well and ends well. The last few hours in the camp flashed through my mind. Indeed, I was hoping to get out, either from the camp or from that reality, and I was pretty much ready for another week, and another one. I'd accepted my role, and what I was supposed to do after all the stuff that what happened. I heaved a doomed sigh, got up from my bed with considerable effort, and went to my computer. It's weird, but according to it, only 14 hours have passed since my disappearance from this world, not a whole week. A new message in the instant messenger. Hey Semyon, yesterday it was legendary. See you later. My college friend, it was him who invited me to that party with the rest of his college friends that I was going to attend. Suddenly all my senses came back to me, the headache, the dizziness, all the symptoms of a hangover. It looks like I indeed attended that party yesterday, and I was partying hard, so there was no pioneer camp. But then where did all these memories, emotions, and feelings come from? All of this was so incomprehensible that I became enraged. I became cursing foully, trying to tear my hair out and hammering out the keyboards with my fist. I didn't return to a normal state until there was no keys left on it. Why should I care so much? Nobody worries when a dream or hallucination ends. Moreover, people are usually glad that it happens. Was I really that prepared to stay there that to return to reality became so undesirable for me? And then a simple, obvious thought crossed my mind. Perhaps I'm just going insane. Indeed, a madman frequently had visions, which they perceive as reality. Besides, I had all the symptoms of insanity. I never leave the four walls of my prison. I never socialize. I have lots of psychological problems. Well, that explains a lot. My dark, nervous laughter echoed in the room. Guess it's the right time to visit a therapist, or rather a psychiatrist. Should I just surrender myself to an asylum? Semyon, a horse! A horse! Half my kingdom for a horse! I cried at the top of my lungs between bouts of manic laughter. Dispute not with her, she's a lunatic. The racket of my neighbors made on the wall calmed me down somehow. If I'm tripping that bad, it looks like the only lobotomy could help me. The only lobotomy can help me. I just sat completely freaked out for several hours, doing nothing, thinking nothing, just staring at my monitor, long since gone into a sleep mode. Finally, I moved the mouse, opened a few tabs in the browser. So what's new? F5. As if the events of the past week had never happened. Come on, do you have to grieve for a hallucination? Was it real? Sure, lots of memories. Sure, looks true enough, but all means yes. Any proof? Nope. The verdict is clear. As is my future course, I have long suspected that my current lifestyle wasn't doing me any good. I wasn't ready for such an unusual event, but so what? I'll have to be more prepared for my next trip. Night. An endless stream of threads and images took my mind off of lamentless and considerations. An instant message window popped up most unexpectedly. Hi, how are you doing? Sure, quite an original way to start a conversation. Doing fine. The contact's profile was completely empty, not even a nickname. Just a 9-digit number. You can't guess what kind of person is on the other end by just looking at a number, can you? Sure, someday we'll be all different, unidentified digital identifiers instead of names. A couple of symbols for a biography, several bytes of personality, and 3.5 bits of feelings. Get home safely. Probably someone from yesterday's party. Seemed like it. You do remember everything I told you yesterday, right? Well, I guess not. There was yet another message for a long pause. I see. Honestly, I don't give a damn who this is and why he is messaging me until this identified individual starts harassing me. I could easily tolerate his presence in my contact list. Well, that's okay. We'll meet again. We surely will. Sure, looking forward to it. Yeah. Alright. Bye. I didn't reply. This odd, screwed up day at last was slowly coming to an end. Going to bed, I yet again recalled in my head all the events that seemed so real for me. When am I going to wake up tomorrow? Will these hallucinations return? Nah, I'll probably just forget everything. Strange, but now I'm really feeling that everything happening to me now is real. That was just a fiction, a game of deformed imaginations. Or really something fantastical, and here's reality. Sometimes inconvenient, sometimes it holds differently from how you'd wish. Surprises, you like this, but it's still reality. I fell asleep with these thoughts. Bit by bit, my life resumed its normal course, and I started to forget the events of that week. After all, nothing bad happened, even if it was indeed real. Who cares? There were only 7 days in the pioneer camp. I wasn't killed, nobody kidnapped me to conduct experiments, I wasn't brainwashed. So why do I care about the reason? And if it indeed was a hallucination, I can only hope that it won't repeat itself. I was still a shut-in. My computer and the internet were my only friends, and the keyboard was the only communication channel, connecting to me on the outside world. The F5 key became the main thing in my life again. Come to think of it, it wasn't really all that bad. Yet one day a familiar combination of digits popped up on the screen. A strange contact of mine had come online once again. Hey! Hey, how are you doing? Doing fine. Probably I knew him somewhere, but who cares anyways? Any news? Not really. Stability is a sign of true class. One might say so. Oh, I see. This conversation was over for me, but he didn't seem to feel like that. So nothing has changed? Nope. Should I have? Well, it's not like you experience stuff like that on a day-to-day basis. Not everything gets to experience it either. What are you talking about? Don't you get it? I was starting to. I'd prefer you to explain. Don't you remember the camp? It felt like an electronic shock. All the events of that week immediately sprang up in my mind. My hands started to tremble. A cold sweat burst from my forehead. I turned around in a horror, already imagining that I see aliens ghost on the Grim Reaper. But there was nobody in my room except me. As always, I ran to the corridor, checked in the kitchen and in the bathroom. Still nobody. At last, I returned to the computer. The same message window still was flashing steadily as if it was a perfectly ordinary message. Who are you? My hands were trembling so much I couldn't hardly hit the keys. Oh, so you do remember it. My hallucinations seem to be continuing. Or did I never leave the camp in the first place? Or it's just a dream after all, or I don't know what to say. I admit it sincerely. Anyhow, I felt that this entity was the only definition that I could think of. It doesn't need any kind of internet to communicate with me. Well, you can just keep silent. Everything's perfectly clear. That smiley at the end of the line looks like the devil himself, stretching its deformed jaws open to devour me. What is happening to me? I finally made up my mind to ask that question. Nothing at all. You're just living your regular life. But the camp, was it real? And what do you think? I'm not sure. If it seems real to you, then yes, it was real. If not, then it wasn't. It's just that simple. That's not simple at all. What will happen to me next? I whispered. Nothing to worry about. It seems that it really hurt me without the use of the internet. Terror chained my whole body and I closed my eyes and curled myself into a ball. Why are you doing this to me? I started to lose it. Words were coming out of my mouth by themselves, illogical, meaningless set of words. Why? Why me? What for? Leave me alone! I haven't done anything bad. Several minutes after I found the courage to open one eye and take a look at the monitor. You are the reason for everything. The message window was flickering coldly. And what's next? Oh, you'll see that soon enough. Everything started fading to black in my eyes. Noise filled my ears and started to feel dizzy. I felt that very soul was escaping its physical shell. The event of that last few days became hazy, as if they'd all happened to someone other than me. Then the memories of the camp started to vanish, as if somebody was using an eraser to thoroughly rub out words written with a pencil. Moments later, I felt and sensed nothing, as I thought I was plunged into a state of cosmic bliss. If anyone saw me at this moment, they would notice that I was smiling. This is creepy, man. I'm kind of stuck here. I hit the report spam button, closed the window, switched the browser, and glanced at the clock. Time to get going, I'm gonna be late. Forever alone. Every story has its beginning and its end. Every story has its own outline, synopsis, contents, key points, and prologue and epilogue. And there's no book which, if you read it again, would not reveal new details you didn't notice before. Every story has its beginning and its end. Almost every. Did it end? No, it's still going. No, are you kidding me? Okay, so both of those were SEMYON endings. Both the bad and good end. Bad end, I guess, is open to interpretation. You could say you probably just started over, being that the game just ends after that. This ending, I don't know, it's a bit more open-ended. It's strange, you really can't see, like, you don't really know for sure what happened. It almost seems as if another version of SEMYON, like the ones we were talking to, escaped and was messaging me. The part that confused me the most is that that girl with cat ears came up again, and I think her name is Ulia. I've seen a few things about her. And she seems like the most mysterious thing about this game. But I don't know, I actually kind of liked that. I really like this game. I mean, most of the videos should have a link in the description, but if not, you can easily find it on Steam. It's free to play. Fuck. I was only going to do this one playthrough, but I'm thinking of maybe doing the other endings as well. I guess that's that. Who knows? I'll probably come back to this. Most likely I will. Thank you guys so much for watching. And for any of you who have seen every video, thank you for seeing what I think is my first full playthrough of a game. Thank you so much for staying to the end for those of you that have. And I will see you guys next time. Butternuts out.